David Fetter, Executive Editor Technical for Prepared Foods, and I want to welcome you to another Prepared Foods special video presentation and podcast on the ingredient trends happening right now in new product development for immune support and immune enhancement. Joining us today is Dr. Kantha Shelke. She's the principal and founder of Corvus Blue. It's a Chicago-based food science and research firm, and they specialize in industry competitive intelligence, expert witness services, new product and technology development. And in addition to Dr. Shelke being a certified food scientist and an in-demand industry expert on commercialization of foods and ingredients, especially those for health and wellness, she is a senior lecturer at Johns Hopkins University, and she's also a regular contributor for us here at Prepared Foods. Today, Dr. Shelke is going to present us with an overview of trending ingredients in immune support. And as I mentioned, it's a hot topic, and we're looking forward to her insight. Dr. Shelke.
Hello, David. You picked a topic I absolutely love because the tide has shifted towards a more proactive approach to health, and immunity is what they're looking for. People want to find a way to fortify their ability to resist disease and any health condition, and they want this from food. They don't want medication. They don't want anything else. They want their foods to ensure the immune system is working properly. It'll protect them from pathogens. It'll counteract the effect of pathogens. And this consumer shift, by the way, took a long time. If you are able to convey this to your consumer, that your product has the right ingredient or the right nutrient in the right format, it's bioavailable, and it'll make a difference, it's a slam dunk for you.
When it comes to immune enhancement, as you said, it's got to be the right ingredient in the right amount with the right bioavailability so that it can do that job. Very good. Do you see the future of immune ingredients in everyday foods and beverages as still having lots of room to grow?
Absolutely, because there's always going to be something depressing our immune system. It's not just the pandemic. There are a number of other factors: aging, pollution, smoke, alcohol, excess weight, inflammation that's associated with excess weight, poor diets. We all struggle with that. Then there are lifestyle factors like sleep or physical activity and stress and chronic stress and poor diets. The good thing is we know that certain dietary patterns actually may work better for the body to prepare it against these attacks and also prepare them against excess inflammation. So we're going like FSMA, the Food Safety Modernization Act. Even food products are going towards a proactive, preventive approach. What we know is that every stage in the body's immune response relies on the presence of many micronutrients. It could be anything. It could be that ABCDs of vitamins, the minerals, proteins, botanicals, fungi, probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, a number of micronutrients. Every one of them has a role. The key thing is in figuring out which one of these fits which situation and how to make your product sort of like how we reach out for orange juice when we are down with a cold.
So we've been doing it all along. We just need to look for a future in which we're doing it more and better, and we've got the support of the food and beverage industry to add to that as it grows. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Shelke. Let's look at some of these ingredient categories for immunity, and if you would, we'll talk about the categories, and I'd like to have your insight and current recommendations for the go-to ingredient when it comes to wellness food and beverage product, and what our developers should check out as far as ingredients in each of these categories. So let's look first at proteins and the proteins that you think that we should be looking at.
Proteins are powerful immune boosters. This concept of food and immunity being interconnected, people get it. They know that foods can fortify our immune cells and they reach out for proteins. You know how pre-workout proteins and post-workout recovery proteins, they get. Fortunately for us, there are a number of really good proteins in nature that offer significant immunomodulatory and anti-inflammatory properties. Dairy-based, egg-based proteins. So eggs contain many essential nutrients, but in terms of their proteins, we're talking about ovalbumin, the number one. Then there's this ovotransferrin, ovomucin, lysozyme, avidin. All of these have a certain amount of antimicrobial effect directly working on the inflammatory pathways. Now, when we look at dairy proteins, there's a reason why milk is the first food for children, for babies, but milk is not milk is not milk. So even in milk, there are some differences. For example, this A2 milk. This is a milk that, milk contains beta casein, and this can come in two forms, A1 or A2. The A2 milk apparently comes from cows that produce only A2 casein, and they've really hit the mainstream because the nutrients in A2 milk are different from the traditional milk in the fundamental structural level. Potent antioxidant activity, because it's rich in these amino acids that get converted to glutathione, which is an immunoprotective component for our bodies. Plus, it's cost effective. It's very good for formulation challenges. It solves problems. And it adds a nutritional value to your product. And most of all, it has all 9 essential amino acids. And it is just perfect for muscle recovery, muscle growth, and it boosts immune function. There's one more, fermented dairy proteins. That has become very big now. When you can ferment your dairy products, particularly dairy proteins, you're creating a new type of component that can feed the commensal microbiota, and it enhances the gut's immunological activity, and it modulates the tolerance.
It gives a whole new view of buttermilk, kefir, yogurt, etc. Very good, thank you. Now, what about the vitamins? What vitamins should product developers keep an eye on?
So this alphabet soup of vitamins, A, B, C, D, E, they're all very good. We've always associated C as a powerful antioxidant. We've also looked at D as something that's good for us, particularly for bone health. But today we are getting new forms of vitamin C and vitamin D, which allows a product manufacturer or marketer to make a bioavailability claim. So it's not just enough that your product had the ingredient added, but it's now available, and it's available to deliver the health benefit you're looking for. So that's what people are looking for. Take the case of vitamin D. We know about vitamin D, something to do with the sun. We know that it's added to certain food products, etc. But now we're finding out that there's a vitamin D that comes from this mushroom, which when treated with ultraviolet light, can actually be an excellent source of vitamin D2. This is a perfect place to give to all those children who are stuck indoors, on Zoom pictures and Zoom meetings, never got any sun. They can get their vitamin D in a simple bowl of mushroom soup. When talking about vitamins, we should not miss out tocotrienols. So vitamin E is a substance that's essential for proper body and brain function. And David, I actually do pay attention. So I remember a 2014 NutriNews break from you. Right. Tocotrienol and its capacity to actually stop cancer cells in their path is really important. And it can be used in any formulation.
You'd mentioned, you were talking about vitamin D mushrooms, and that does segue into what sort of immunity enhancing botanicals and fungi should our product developers keep an eye out for?
So botanicals and fungi, usually sort of grouped together, was once confined to dietary supplements and herbal teas. But today, this whole range is springing up into a number of beverages, snacks, and into other food preparations. Take ingredients like turmeric or ashwagandha to add a signature flair and a certain amount of exoticism to your food product. But if you are formulating it around immunity, because then you're looking for a particular need state or a health benefit, it will resonate with your consumer on that topic of immunity. So take any one of them, acerola, hibiscus, elderberry. These took off, almost overnight during the pandemic. Coca-Cola has a smart water where they're using ashwagandha, they're using ginseng and green tea extracts for immunity.
Jumping over to carbohydrates, the gums, the fibers, resistant starches, what should our product developers for immune enhancement foods and beverages be keeping an eye on today in that category?
That's an astute question, David. We often miss carbohydrates, but carbohydrates are not the same. There are different kinds of carbohydrates. So take resistant starch. Carbohydrates like resistant starch have a beneficial role because of their dietary fiber-like activity, which modulates the biological roles of the gut microbiome and helps it. So starches can actually help with the transport of probiotic organisms and help them with their immune response, and also to suppress potential pathogens. Now, there are a number of carbohydrates out there. Beta glucans are an example of a carbohydrate that we should all know about. It's a hypergrowth category. It's a form of a soluble fiber that moves slowly through the digestive tract, catches cholesterol as it goes, but it also has antioxidant and antimicrobial capabilities that have an immune strengthening effect that people know. It's the reason why we've been eating oatmeal for so long. But beta glucans can come from a number of different sources. So you can have it from oatmeal, you can get it from mushrooms, you can also get it from different types of microbial fermentations, which then takes you to another similar related carbohydrate, and that is the hydrocolloids, acacia gum. Acacia gum, gum arabic, gum tragacanth, these have been used for quite some time by some cultures. For example, traditional practice in African and Middle Eastern countries would use gums as a medicine because it promotes bifidobacteria proliferation, very similar to beta glucan and like most fructooligosaccharides, but it inhibits the pathogens like the Clostridium group that is associated with gut dysbiosis. There is a tremendous opportunity right now in the field of immunity for food manufacturers to identify their star ingredients, whether it's a beta glucan, a probiotic, a prebiotic, a botanical, whatever it might be from the various classes, and to show how it is the ideal solution for immunity in a particular case. So it could be a need state, vitamin C for a cold, or it could be something along the lines of when taken in combination or taken regularly can enhance your body and shield it from oxidative damage, from infection, and from chronic disease. So it doesn't matter which the ingredient is. What matters is the clinical substantiation, and there's plenty of it, believe me, to show how the various ingredients that we use today that consumers associate with immune boosting effects can actually be shown to be effective, to be dose responsive, as in there is the right amount of dose, it's not pixie dusting, and most importantly, affordable and effective.
So, Dr. Shelke, what new ingredients or ingredient types are on the horizon for immune support?
The synergy between the immune system and the gut microbiome is finally being understood by a number of different practitioners. So it's the field of nutritional well-being, product development, and also by marketers. And you can expect escalated research about gut flora as being significant for overall health. Then there's this concept of prebiotics, which is the food that probiotics, the bacteria, the living creatures, critters, I think you call them, what they eat. And then there's this thing called postbiotics. The concept of postbiotics is a very unique one and an emerging one. Postbiotics are byproducts of the fermentation process. Postbiotics are byproducts of fermentation process. In other words, probiotics feed on prebiotics and produce postbiotics. Quite a mouthful. Postbiotics are the deactivated probiotic strains that have been shown to produce a number of compounds like exopolysaccharides, peptidoglycans, all of which exhibit immune modulating capacity and disrupt pathogens. Now, postbiotics are also believed to trigger the microbiome from having additional antioxidant capacity. So foods that can increase the concentration of postbiotic is like yogurt and pickled vegetables. And by the way, yogurt is not just in a container. You can also use it as an ingredient in a number of other foods. The key to successful postbiotics is to making sure that you've got the right combination of the prebiotic and the probiotic to produce the right byproduct or finished product, the postbiotic, to make that particular physiological effect.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Shelke. That was an intense and comprehensive, but really, really interesting look into the ingredients that help us enhance and support our immune systems. Thank you, viewers and listeners, for joining us. I hope y'all enjoyed this first-person discussion as much as I did. And I invite everybody to check out the expanding coverage we have at preparedfoods.com. Look under the media menu. You'll find throughout the preparedfoods.com website more of these on-trend topics of interest for all our food and beverage formulators and manufacturers. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.